Hey guys, welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're going to be continuing to take a look at a scenario of what if civilization started over. We are now on episode 48 of the series. In the last episode, we saw some more things happening. Like Angola being, yeah, they got declared war on by South Africa. And these two countries right here got involved. We also saw a defensive pact being formed between two alliance members of two different alliances. Crimea and Mesopotamia made a defensive pact to deter Russia. Kazakhstan. Speaking of Russia, they joined the defensive pact because they got invaded by them. And these two got some land just to prevent these guys from taking all of Russia. These guys also got involved. We also saw, China and Taiwan unite into, one country. We also saw, these guys expand into this country. They also took some land from Sumatra. So, yeah, and that was all of the events. Oh, also Rome. Yeah, they're weak and crippled. Taking a look over here, we're actually going to go over here towards Mesopotamia and Arabia. We see them going to war for some reason. I don't know why. I don't know why they're at war, but oh god, that's way too bright. That's too similar to their original color. I'm gonna change it up. Yeah, so they'll be invading into Mesopotamia, and Mesopotamia's like, Mesopotamia will be invading into Arabia, and Arabia's like, why? And Mesopotamia's like, I don't know. We just felt like it. Plus, we want to make sure you don't fall over to fascism. That's their justification for invading them. So, yeah, I don't know if that's a really good justification. Oh, I guess, like, Persia is also getting involved. They're like, we're neutral, but we just want to make sure you don't fall over to any radical ideologies. So they begin to invade into Mesopotamia, into, Arabia. These guys are like, why? Why is this happening to us? Oh, but it's not that. That's not all. Because this country right here is gonna also justify by our invasion by agreeing with Mesopotamia and Persia. But, yeah. Tanzania is, gonna be invading into Arabia, moving towards their capital. And Arabia's like, oh god, the fascists are coming. Quickly, Mesopotamian and Persian forces make a spearhead towards the capital in order to save the people there from the fascists before they get there first. And they actually manage to take the capital city from the fascists. And they actually cut them off from getting anywhere close to into the Middle East. into like into Asian lands. They rapidly will make a defensive line for these guys. They will rapidly take land from Arabia. So will Persia and this country right here. And the rest of it will fall over to Tanzania. And we can take a look at a peace treaty. So, in this peace treaty, we see this island nation here getting some land along here. That was just their goal. They just wanted land too. Plus, they didn't want any radicalism to be here. We also see Persia taking all of this land over here. And maybe I just wanted to fix this border. But the main reason is radicalism is very popular in the world right now. And yeah. Oh boy, Tanzania will be annexing this area right here, basically just Yemen. They control the, another entrance into the Red Sea. But the main one is controlled by Egypt. Actually, I think it might be controlled by Mesopotamia. Speaking of Mesopotamia, they will be annexing this land right here. In exchange for, and for a reparation for invading them, they will offer Arabia to join their military alliance with Egypt, and they actually will agree to this proposal. Tanzania is mad because they can't spread anymore into Arabia, so they're stuck in Africa. Well, not necessarily. They could go after these guys, but they don't want to anger the red team. Also, they also joined the economical alliance, so yeah. Going over here to New Zealand, they will annex their puppet here. And also this puppet state right here, which recently got created. Yeah, this series has evolved quite a lot. Yeah, the troops that were lined up on the borders of these two countries are already starting to act. They'll get orders from the dictator to invade into Papua. So they will listen because they don't want to be executed. So that's why they're being forced to invade. They don't want to go along with this, but they will agree because they don't want to die. They will capture the capital, and they are like, sorry, we're being forced to do this. We don't want to do this. If we don't comply, we will die. And all the people in the country are like agreeing with the military because they don't like the fascist regime that took over the country. Even though they voted for it It could have been just rigged. A fascist country could have rigged it. So that's why the military's not listening. But they'll be forced to capture all these islands over here. All the way out in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. So yeah, this country is gonna fall. And they'll be surrendering over to the dictator of the country. And in the peace treaty, Papua is being fully annexed. Great. Seems like the fascists are really expanding their influence. Actually, these guys were democratic until the rigging in their election was happening. Yeah, even the old government did not want this to happen, but it did happen to them. And they got thrown out of office forcefully and probably executed because they didn't comply with the new government. There was probably a reason they didn't comply, because they already know what fascists do to other countries when they invade. And the military was still on the side of their former leader. That's why we saw them, doing this out of fear from their new government. So, yeah. Now there are even more troops lined up on the border over here. We'll take a look back at that here in a bit. But right now, we see a civil war happening. Where will this be? Well, it's actually in Brazil. Yeah, this unrest is actually because of the government. I'm just gonna be coloring this in red because the red team is supporting this secretly. Because they don't like the dictator of this country, but they do like other fascist communist nations. They do like Crimea. They like Mozambique. They like Japan. But not Brazil. So we see them secretly funding rebels who are just going to be red because of the funding. So these rebellions will take place over here, near the border of Patagonia, because they want to join Patagonia. And one over here, near the capital city. And a pretty big one right here. So yeah, that's all the rebellions, and they're pretty strong. And these guys don't want to be under fascism or communism. They're just gonna, these rebellions, most of the rebellions here are, well, this one is in support of changing the government. These two right here are support, well, this one wants to rebel away from the original government and recreate a country that existed here before. If I go over to photos, hold on. So this is where the rebellion is taking place. It's actually going to be in support of reforming Bolivia. Yeah. And this one is support of joining Patagonia. So we see this rebellion gaining steam over here. We see more of this Bolivian area start to rebel away from the communist government. Even their own allies are supporting these rebellions, because they really do not like the suppressing of the people that the communist leader is doing here. And this rebellion is going to pick up steam right here. So, yeah. It's here where we see one of these rebellious forces go around secretly. There might have been some of the people here in the country, and even the military was helping out this operation. And we see them go into the house of the leader where he resides. And we see them drag the leader out, drive him onto a boat, bring him onto a boat, send him over this way. To go around Africa. And where is this going? They'll go through this area. They'll go right here. And they'll send him into the Red Team's capital, where he will be imprisoned. And sentenced to 20 years in prison. And the government is forced to switch ideologies. And we see Brazil leaving communism to even leave this military and economical alliance. And we see Patagonia gaining this land right here, which is where the rebellion wanted to be. And we see a return of an old friend. There will be a different color, but I'm gonna try and find out what color I use for Bolivia here. Pretty sure it was more of this color. Let me check. A little too bright. Okay, what about this? Perfect. I think I found the color they were. So this is where the rebellion took place. And it's actually going to be quite a lot of land here that the Bolivians will be returning, getting back. They get back all this land. Their people here have been suppressed by the communist leader for a while. The other communist nations did not agree with the policies of the communist leader in Brazil. So they kind of secretly supported the rebellion, the unrest that was happening in the country, behind the Brazilians' back. When they knew about the Red Team funding the rebellions, they supported what the Red Team was doing. So Bolivia has returned And we can see that this is now going to be updated. And this also gets updated. Instead of 4 democratic nations, we have 5 being... And the 5th one now being Brazil. And now there's 3 communist nations. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. And now it's time to give Bolivia a new capital city, which will be right here. Their old one was technically somewhere over here as well. But that was an important event. And that'll do it for today's episode. I hope you guys enjoy it. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in episode 49. Goodbye.